Good day and welcome to our short explanation and demonstration of how to set up PayPal invoicing. And in case you're wondering, yes, there are some distinct advantages to using PayPal invoicing. The first of which, and probably the largest of which, is your customers are asking for it. PayPal itself claims that 78%, so let's round that to 80% of PayPal invoices are paid within 1 day of sending the invoice. You certainly don't get that with paper invoices, as we all know, and you can see in this infographic that they provide. This, by the way, is from 2018, so you have it September 2018. The notion is that electronic invoicing is just better. Also, the PayPal invoicing system is free. Well, when I say that, yes, they're going to charge you the typical, I think it's 30 cents and 2.9% per transaction for domestic transactions, but that's to cover their credit card fees and the PayPal service, not the invoicing service. So this invoicing service is basically a quick little accounting system for you. It's quite nice, and it provides a way for you to keep track of your invoices, which ones have been paid, which ones haven't. The system costs you nothing but a few minutes to set up. So let's get to it. What you do is you bring up your browser, so you go to your PayPal account, log in, and then you click on Send and Request at the top here. You click on Request, and you'll see Create an Invoice on the right here. Click on that. And now you get to start filling out your forms and building the template. So let's do that. First thing I'm going to do is add company logo. Your graphic needs to be a JPEG, GIF, or PNG. It needs to be less than 100 kilobytes in size, and it can't be any taller than 75, and it can't be any wider than 200 pixels. Now, that still won't resolve all of the issues. You will find this quite frustrating to upload your graphic. One of the little quirks that you also need to use, apparently, and from experience it seems to be true, although there's no official word from PayPal that I could find on it, is you need to make sure that the resolution of the dots per inch, the resolution of the image, is a standard resolution. So don't use 92 or 96.5, use 96, use 200, use 300, something like that. That's from experience and from me playing with this as well. And one of the ways you can tell what your resolution is, you can use paint.net, which is a free tool to build or resize or do anything else with graphics that you would like. And you can click Image and you can click Resize, and it will give you the resolution right there. Next thing is your business information. Enter your tax number if you have one. There we go. Now, if you're wondering, no, they do not charge for this. This is a free service provided by PayPal. You will get charged the usual, I think it's 30 cents per transaction, plus something like 3%, depending on what your deal is with PayPal. So they will take that from you, but they will not actually charge for this invoicing system. As you can see here in frequency, you can set up recurring invoicing if you want. In my case, I just want to do a single. Invoice number, if you have an invoice number for your internal system, you can use that. Or if you just want to make the number seem larger, you can do that as well. I'm going to use my internal number, and that is one of my internal numbers. My invoice date for this was actually on the 20th, and his PO is just his name. So we're going to call it Dan, and the invoice is due upon receipt. Typically, I give people 3 days to do play. Typically, I give people 3 days to pay, but in this case, he's a little bit behind, so we're going to... Typically, I give people 3 days to pay, but in this case, there's been some timing issues already, as you can tell from the dates. So it'll be due upon receipt. So let's go through and show you how you actually create an actual invoice for these people. I'm going to click Add a New Customer. And to keep it clear, I'm not going to enter real information here. And Dan is in the UK. Well, he's not actually, because he's not real, but that's where he would be. I'm just trying to show you those different countries. You can put in phone numbers and so on and so forth. I'm not going to put in a billing address if I had more detail, shipping address, invoice language, things like that. In my case, I'm just going to leave it at that because it's just a sample. So click save, and boom, there it is. You can see that we could add this to multiple customers, so I can build something else. If I had this to split between other people, I could do that. I could also send it to multiple people. And here is the billing detail under customize. I can set quantity, I can set hours, and I'll set a specific amount. I can remove any fields that I want, and I can say what currency I want to get paid in. So let's go through this. Okay, in this case, I'm going to put sponsored link, and it's just one, and we'll just make up a price here so you can see how it works. There's no tax because this person's out of the country, so I don't have to go through. Sponsored link, let's not use that. Let's use Car Bibles because I like those guys. And save item. There we go. That's on the bill. You can see it's updated. I could add more lines if I wanted. Let's go through and add another line just for fun. So I'll go into here, and you can see it just added another one. But I could say, let's make this one 100. There we go, big number, right? And you can see it's all updated, but I'm going to remove that and remove that. There we go. So that's my invoice. And in fact, I'm going to make this 100, and then I'm going to give him a 12.5% discount. So the same thing. So you see how that works? If it was a service I provided, I may want to allow the customer to add a tip. Partial payment's an interesting thing. That's just what it says. You can let somebody pay this effectively in installments. That also gets to a good point. If somebody is using PayPal, using their credit card, there is a way for them to get financing for 6 months on purchases over $100 US or more. And that's also something that people may be interested in. But that's not from you, that's from PayPal. So let's do tech.ca. Thanks you. How's that? And I'm not going to bother with any terms. There are no terms in what I'm going to do here. I can add a self memo. Things like this invoice was generated internally, but the client refused to pay without a PayPal invoice. So it is due now. So that looks pretty enough to me. Let's click preview. It's a bit disappointing that this is fuzzy, but it's the way it is. That looks like a pretty reasonable invoice. Now, before I could just click send, but I'm not going to. I'm going to click edit, and I'm going to go under save as draft, and I can save as template because I want to reuse this template in the future. So let's do that. So I will click save as template, and I will call this your tech invoice 1 style. Style 1. There we go. There. So we'll go back and we'll do another one immediately after this. So I think that's good enough, and I'll send this one. So let's click preview again, just make sure nothing's changed. It all looks happy. And I will click send via PayPal. There we go. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to create another invoice, but this time I'm going to use that template. So I'll go into here, and you can see it's pre-populated this stuff for me. So in this case, I'm just going to add another one. I'm going to call it, I'll make a different reference, so it's something different. So we'll call it the drive. Just, it doesn't make any difference. And I'll leave the same pricing and the same note. And yeah, we'll just leave it like that. That's good. And I can just click send. Now let's see what I have in the system. So I'm going to go to Manage Invoice, take a quick look, and I should have 2 of them in there, and I do. Isn't that nice? And I could send a reminder if I wanted, which is awesome. Create a PDF, so on and so forth. I can manage recurring sales if I had any, which I don't. Estimates I'm not going to worry about. Well, you could send estimates too as well. I'm not going to, but you could. Create an invoice or create an estimate. You can see that. That's always helpful. Under items, I simply have this template that I already have going. I'm going to click edit on it. And I'm going to remove the subject or the description. And I'm going to remove the price. Click Save Changes. Okay, so this time we'll put in a price of $250. I guess it won't let me remove the price. I'll click Save Changes. There's my saved item. Now I can go to the address book and let's just take a quick rip through here. These are some recent transactions. My information, tax information. Let's go into templates. In templates here, I have UR Invoice 1, there we go. And in here, I'm going to strip out carbibes and I'm going to, let's say I want to use this in the future. I'm going to change the price to $250 and that's all good. I'm going to get rid of the memo because of course that's not something I want to use repeatedly. And I'll get rid of this bill too. So I have a nice plain template here. Right, this is one that I could use in the future. Oh, I want to get rid of that discount as well. And I will click Save Template. I'll make that my default. And I'll call that UR Tech 250 Invoice style one. There we go. And this one I'm now done with. So let's say I've used this template for a few years and I've decided that I just don't want it anymore. I'm just going to click Delete and get rid of it. There we go. So let's just take a very quick look here, and when I click Create Invoice now, I have a sponsored link, but I have these fields left to populate. And that's about it. If you have any questions or concerns, please get a hold of us at www.urtech.ca. Thank you. Bye-bye.